Welcome to the deep dive. We take stacks of sources, research, notes, and really boil them down into those key nuggets of knowledge.
That's the goal.
And today we're unpacking something pretty universal, I think. Something we're all kind of after, the quest for happiness.
Right.
But it can feel so elusive sometimes, can it? Like trying to hold water in your hands almost?
It absolutely can, yeah. And, that's exactly why our deep dive today isn't just about chasing that feeling, that often fleeting feeling.
Okay.
We want to go a bit beyond that, explore the journey towards something maybe deeper, more lasting, things like joy, and even what some of our sources call enlightenment.
Wow. Okay. Joy, enlightenment, that's a big mission.
It is.
And for this, we've pulled from a really fascinating mix of sources. I mean, everything from ancient thinkers like Lao Tzu, Nietzsche,
Right. The big names.
to, modern voices like Oprah Winfrey, Maya Angelou, and even some surprises from pop culture, Iggy Pop, Dr. Seuss.
You'd be surprised where you find insights on this.
Exactly. So the idea is to pull out those maybe unexpected connections, that timeless wisdom, to really help you get informed on this huge topic quickly.
That's good. Where should we start?
Well, let's start at the beginning, right? Let's try and nail down these terms.
Good idea. Let's clarify them, because they do get mixed up. We throw happiness around a lot, don't we?
Yeah, it's the catch-all.
It is, but our sources often suggest it's often temporary, kind of tied to things going our way, external stuff.
Right, like getting a promotion or something.
Exactly. And what's interesting is they point out that maybe the shortest path to feeling miserable is actually focusing on what you don't have.
Ah, the comparison trap.
That's it. It just keeps real contentment, like always just out of reach.
Okay, so if happiness can be that conditional, that fragile maybe, how is joy different? What makes it more robust?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the distinction is really key here. One of our sources, Mark Nepo, puts it really nicely. He says something like, well, happiness is a fleeting mood. Joy is larger and more lasting than any one feeling.
Mm.
Joy is the ocean that holds all feelings.
An ocean that holds all feelings.
Wow.
Yeah.
So joy isn't just, feeling good. It's this bigger inherent thing.
Mm.
It holds the space for everything, the celebrations, but also the challenges. It's
Yeah.
deeper.
Okay, that image really helps. An ocean. And if joy is the ocean, then enlightenment. That sounds like what? The ultimate destination, the final shore.
Something like that.
Huh.
Our sources describe it as, well, the highest state of consciousness, maybe.
Okay.
It comes from really deep inner work, self-development, connecting with your true self, finding this sense of ease and awareness.
So not just thinking about it, but really being it.
Exactly. Think about Siddhartha becoming the Buddha. He reached enlightenment not through easy living, but through seeing suffering and deep internal realization.
Right. Through the hard stuff.
Yeah. It shows it's not just about understanding ideas, like Lao Tzu said, and this is a great quote, knowing others is wisdom, knowing yourself is enlightenment.
Ah, that inward turn.
That deep personal knowing. It only comes from looking inside.
That idea, knowing yourself. It leads perfectly to the next big theme, doesn't it? The power of your own mind, your disposition.
Absolutely.
Because, where we start in life, our circumstances, they definitely shape us, no doubt.
Sure.
But we still have a huge say in how we live our lives, don't we? It feels like if you genuinely believe you can change or grow, it actually starts to happen.
Yeah, that sense of personal agency is really strong in the sources. It's quite empowering, actually.
How so?
Well, this idea that you're not just stuck with old patterns or beliefs. You have this power to, as one source put it, erase those old tapes and write your own program.
Like reprogramming yourself.
Exactly. Unlearning the habits that maybe lead to unhappiness. It kind of makes me think of Iggy Pop, actually. That lust for life thing he talks
Yeah,
about.
raw energy.
It's about finding that inner drive, right?
Mhm.
That internal spark.
So it really boils down to it being less about what happens to you
Mm-hmm.
and much more about your internal reaction, your mindset.
That's what they stress again and again.
Mm.
True well-being depends more on your disposition, not just your circumstances.
Okay.
There's this idea that the happiness of your life depended on the quality of your thoughts.
The quality of your thoughts. But let's be honest, that can be really hard, right? Especially when things are tough. How do the sources suggest we actually do that? How do we make our thoughts work for us, not against us?
Yeah, that's the practical bit, isn't it? How do we bridge that gap?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's fascinating is how direct the link is between thoughts, actions, and just how you feel overall. Even modern fields like noetic science.
Noetic science.
Yeah, I suppose consciousness, mind-body stuff. they're starting to show empirically that basically only good thoughts lead to good actions.
Wow. So thoughts leading to actions.
Right. And Gandhi really captured this. He said, happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony.
Ah, that alignment, thinking, saying, doing all lining up.
Exactly. That deep internal consistency.
So it's not passive. It's something you have to actively work on. I remember seeing Norman Vincent Peale's advice. Something like, practice happy thinking every day.
Yeah, and cultivate the merry heart.
Yeah.
It really does sound like a choice, doesn't it? A daily practice, a discipline.
It absolutely does. And if we're talking about practices, daily choices,
Yeah.
what's one of the big tools the sources mention for cultivating that positive mindset?
Well, there's one that comes up again and again across so many different traditions and thinkers. It's gratitude.
Gratitude. Okay, yeah. We hear that word a lot, but sometimes it feels a bit simple.
It sounds simple, but the sources present it as incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Like a fundamental tool to really turn your life around.
Turn your life around. How?
It's about actively finding reasons to be thankful, not just for the big wins, but, the everyday stuff. Daily.
So shifting your focus.
Exactly. It changes your perception.
Yeah.
You move from looking at what's missing to appreciating what's already there. Oprah Winfrey put it so well.
Oh, yeah. What did she say?
Something like, be thankful for what you have, you'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough.
That's powerful. It's not just being nice. It's almost like a strategy for abundance.
It really is. And it's backed up. Psychology shows this kind of focus literally rewires your brain. It's a genuine turn your life around kind of tool.
And it doesn't have to be complicated. I remember a quote from Meister Eckhart.
Oh, Eckhart, yeah.
If the only prayer you said was thank you, that would be enough.
So simple,
Right.
but profound.
It really just comes down to noticing, appreciating, saying thank you, maybe just internally, to people, to moments, making those blessings count.
And, focusing on blessings, on connection.
Yeah.
That leads us right into the next essential piece.
Yeah.
Connection itself. Friends, love, kindness.
Right. Because our internal state is crucial, yes. But we don't exist in a vacuum, do we?
Not at all. The sources are really clear. We're fundamentally social creatures. Connection is vital.
It makes sense. I think it was Mark Twain who had that witty line. To get the full value of joy, you must have someone to divide it with.
Uh-huh. Classic Twain. It's true, though, isn't it? Sharing experiences makes them richer. Think about seeing something amazing, a sunset, whatever.
Yeah,
Sharing it just amplifies that joy, that wonder.
definitely. And friendships. The sources describe them as like the stories you share.
Yeah, and a million little things that
Yeah.
help us see ourselves more clearly, too. Walter Winchell had a great line.
What was that?
A real friend is the one who walks in when the rest of the world walks out.
Oof. That hits home.
Right. And Elbert Hubbard added that a friend is someone who, knows all your flaws and loves you anyway.
That kind of acceptance is huge.
It provides support, sure, but also that mirror for knowing yourself. It's foundational.
That mirror idea. It comes up strongly with love too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Love is holding up a mirror, that deep connection, being truly seen, and it grows when you nurture it.
George Sand put it so simply. There is only one happiness in life, to love and be loved.
And that echoes everywhere. Emily Dickinson, till I loved, I never lived. Like, love is life.
Wow.
Sandy Wilson reminds us, it's never too late to fall in love, which is hopeful,
That's nice. Yeah.
and even loss. Tennyson's famous line, "'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all," puts it in perspective.
It frames it as worthwhile, even with the pain.
But crucially, our sources remind us it really has to start with loving yourself first, that self-acceptance piece.
Right. You can't pour from an empty cup, as they say.
Exactly. And then extending that outward, that brings us to kindness. Yeah.
Kindness. The sources say something interesting about it. That it cannot be given away, it can only be shared. What does that mean?
It's like, it's reciprocal, maybe. It benefits the giver as much as the receiver. It creates ripples. Will Glennon's idea of random acts of kindness.
Yeah, I remember that movement.
The idea was, go out and do them, and you'll literally change the world, one small act at a time.
And Mother Teresa's words about kind words. Short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless.
Beautiful, isn't it? And there's a very clear link drawn between giving, kindness, and your own happiness.
How so?
Booker T. Washington observed, those who are happiest are those who do the most for others.
Interesting. So helping others actually boosts your own well-being.
Consistently. And Anne Frank said, no one has ever become poor by giving. It's about that legacy, right? Leaving people better than you found them. That enriches your life, too.
Okay, so connection, understanding others. This naturally flows into the importance of, well, keeping an open mind.
Absolutely critical. The
Yep.
sources really hammer this point home. Ignorance often breeds prejudice, anger.
Yeah, fear of the unknown.
Exactly. But being genuinely open-minded, that's where discovery happens. New ideas, new perspectives, even, surprisingly, deeper connections and love.
It makes sense. Our minds are built to learn, aren't they? They want to figure things out.
They do. They're constantly trying to decipher the world. So the call to action here is, like, actively find something new each day to open your mind to. Keep learning.
Stay curious. It's not just about learning facts, is it? It's about understanding people.
Yes. John Steinbeck believed this strongly. He said, basically, try to understand people. If you understand each other, you'll be kind. Knowing someone well never leads to hate, almost always leads to love.
Wow. That's incredibly optimistic, but maybe true.
It's a profound thought. And Carl Jung added another layer.
Yeah.
He said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves.
Ah, so the things that push our buttons, they're actually clues about ourselves.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all part of this cycle of growth. Understanding the world helps us understand ourselves and vice versa. Louise Baxter Harmon noted how we evolve, from maybe youthful self-pity
We've all been there.
to a more mature understanding of the world's needs of others.
Well, that's a hopeful progression. So, okay, we've talked mindset, gratitude, connection, open-mindedness. It feels like all these pieces are building towards something bigger.
They really are. They converge on finding your purpose and living a life with real zest.
Zest, I like that. But purpose first. Emerson had that powerful quote, it's not just about being happy, is it?
No. Emerson said, the purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well.
Making a difference, being useful, that feels weightier than just happiness.
It does. And Nietzsche asked that crucial question, what's your why?
Right. He who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow.
Exactly. Find that reason, that core drive, and commit to it. That's your compass.
And the sources describe life as like raw material, and we're the sculptors.
Yeah, the artisans of our existence.
Yeah.
Which implies action, right? You have to do the sculpting.
And that takes courage.
Definitely. Garth Stein said, there is no dishonor in losing the race. There is only dishonor in not racing because you are afraid to lose.
Just getting in the arena.
Yep. And Maya Angelou called courage the most important virtue.
Why?
Because without it, she said, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. You need courage for honesty, for kindness, for everything.
That makes sense. So it's about active engagement, not just waiting around.
Absolutely not. Susan Sontag had this incredibly energetic call to action.
What was it?
Do stuff. Be clenched, curious, not waiting for inspiration's shove or society's kiss on the forehead. Pay attention. It's all about paying attention.
Wow. Be clenched, curious. I love that. Pay attention.
She argued that attention is vitality. It keeps you alive, engaged.
Okay, and that connects to zest, right? Where does that come in?
Christian Dior, surprisingly, he called zest the secret of all beauty.
Okay, if Dior says so.
But beyond style, the idea is that variety, engagement, that sparkle keeps you truly alive, approaching life with energy, maybe even playfulness.
It sounds simple, but maybe profoundly important, like choosing how you see things.
Exactly. Which brings us to Einstein's choice.
The miracles quote.
Yeah. There are two ways to live. You can live as if nothing is a miracle. You can live as if everything is a miracle. It's a fundamental choice in perspective.
And Betty Smith's advice, too. Look at everything as though you were seeing it either for the first or last time.
Cultivating that sense of wonder, right? Conscious appreciation.
Wow. What a journey we've covered. From just chasing happiness, which can be fleeting, to cultivating this deeper, more resilient joy, and even aiming for enlightenment.
Yeah.
We've hit on mindset, the huge power of gratitude, the absolute necessity of connection, friends, love, kindness.
Keeping an open mind.
Right, for growth and understanding, and finally finding that purpose, that why, and living with energy, with zest.
It ties together beautifully, doesn't it? And if you pull all those threads together, it points towards something the ancient philosophers called quintessence.
Quintessence, like the fifth element.
Exactly that idea, the pure essence. In this context, our sources frame it as that ultimate inner happiness, something born from deep peace, unified joy, the essence of just being.
Right.
Oscar Wilde nailed it. The true perfection of man lies not in what man has, but in what man is.
It's internal, not external possessions.
Right. And Ellen DeGeneres put her spin on it, too.
Hey.
Beauty is about being comfortable in your own skin. It's about knowing and accepting who you are.
That self-acceptance again, coming back to knowing and being okay with who you are.
It really does seem central. Which brings us, I suppose, to a final thought for you, the listener, to maybe chew on.
Okay, leave us with something to think about.
Well, Mahatma Gandhi offered this perspective that ties so much together. He said, the purpose of life is undoubtedly to know oneself.
Okay, we've heard that theme.
We cannot do it unless we learn to identify ourselves with all that lives.
Identify with all that lives.
You know, the sum total of that is God. So the question to ponder is maybe this. How might that continuous act, that practice of understanding and identifying with others, with all of life, how might that be the ultimate path? The path to really knowing ourselves, finding purpose, finding harmony in this whole mysterious human experience.
Wow. Identifying with all that lives as the way to know oneself. That's a deep dive for another time, maybe. But a powerful thought to end on.
Definitely something to mull over.